Welcome to What the Fahad, broadcasting straight from the heart of Dubai. My name is Sheikh Fahad. I'm your host, and every month we bring you individuals from the sporting world, from sporting entrepreneurs to athletes and to everyday heroes who are doing something extraordinary out there. On What the Fahad, we bring you inspiring stories of such individuals. So if you're looking to be inspired, motivated, or simply here for the vibe, you're on the right podcast. So join me on What the Fahad as we share an exciting 20 episodes this season with you guys, bringing in extraordinary individuals from all aspects of the sporting world. And on today's episode, we've got Colin Allen, Oakley's Meta channel manager for the MENA region. I'm a bit envious of his Oakley collection, the first one he bought in the year 1996. He describes himself as a people person and someone who loves to cycle a lot and builds brand innovation in this region. So let's welcome Colin to the show. Colin, welcome to WTF.
Thank you.
How do you feel? What do you think of the setup?
Yeah, it's good, man. I love doing podcasts, so it doesn't matter where we sit, as long as we're having good conversations and good vibes, that's what it's about, right?
Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Anytime.
And we begin our podcast with a very simple question that we ask all our guests. Who is Colin?
It's a very deep question to get started with. I think Colin is someone who doesn't live by the rules. He's somebody who loves to take chances. He's someone who values relationships and understands the value of relationships, and then putting time into people. Loves a good time, loves riding bicycles.
I've seen that.
Loves music. I'm getting into DJing again, which has been really fun. And just connecting and having a good time, man.
That's amazing. And when you said connecting, Oakley's recently launched with Meta the shades that has the camera on it. And Middle East is now a growing hub of sports innovation.
Mm-hmm.
As a head of the channel, how are you positioning Oakley for this growth?
It's an interesting question, and I think one of the things we need to sort of get straight right at the beginning is my job title is head of Meta.
Okay.
And Meta is also Facebook, right?
Correct.
So I always have to tell everyone, when you say Meta, you have to say Meta Facebook, because for us, Meta is Middle East, Turkey, Africa, which are those 69 countries that I look after. But positioning, look, I think Oakley's always been at the forefront of innovation. We've always been disruptive by design. We've always made sure that anything that we launch has a purpose and that it works. And I think people have come to trust us for that. So, partnering with a company like Meta Facebook for AI enhanced glasses is a dream come true. And we're about to change the face, literally, on how you interact with eyewear and how eyewear integrates into your life. So I think from a positioning point of view, Oakley's always positioned as the innovation leader when it comes to performance eyewear. We're the number one by absolute miles. And we just maintain that position, I think.
That's interesting how you say number one by miles. I think it's way the distance between you and somebody after you.
There's
massive.
Nobody. Close. I mean, Nike and Adidas are coming back into the game for I think the third or fourth time, so they're going to try again, and maybe they make some waves. But I think it's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 put together, not even half of what we are in performance eyewear.
Of course,
obviously total eyewear we have Ray-Ban, which is a whole different beast, but performance eyewear we're miles ahead.
And then when you talk about performance, right? How do you tackle introducing innovation in a traditional market? UAE is a growing market. It always will be developing. It always will be emerging. How do you work your way through? How do you navigate into a traditional market with disruptive innovation?
I think if you launch cool stuff, people notice, right? So we have very colorful names for our projects, which I won't go into on the podcast because we keep it PG. But we just really don't care what the market's doing. We set out to do what we feel is right. We set out to look at problems that we find within product, within industry, within sport, and then we set out to solve them. And I think when you solve a problem, it goes viral. And today, especially with social media, I mean, things are so fast to be spread around. We have a great network of what we call the collective, which are our sort of ambassadors and people who support the brand. And so anything that happens goes quick and far. And a big part of my day is actually just answering Instagram messages of like, what's this? I saw that. What colors do these come in? Is this true? Is that not true? How many units are we getting them in the region? So I think, for the moment now, we just launched, as you said, the first Meta AI glasses with Oakley. We also announced Travis Scott as being our creative director, which was a huge move for us. And so the brand heat is probably at an all-time high at the moment. And so, when you have that heat around you, you almost kind of can't go wrong. Touch wood.
Touch wood.
But so yeah, I think it's just about doing cool stuff with cool people, and that's really what we're trying to do in the region as well.
So let's jump on the social media side of things. What are some of the strategies you keep in your mind, or the brand keeps in their mind, to make sure that you are dominating, in a very simple language, the boss?
I think so. Social media took me about 2 years to get a local social media approved, which I really fought for, because I think there's nothing like being spoken to in your own language. And I think to be respectful to the region we're in, we needed to Arabize and localize. So I think localizing becomes very important when we can work with teams and athletes and give them that time on an Oakley platform. It means something for them as well, right? So we're now Oakley Middle East is live on Instagram. We're starting to grow that account. And I think it's not only about taking what global has and putting it on our page, because that would be a bit of a waste of time. So it's about local content, local athletes, amplification of what we're already doing in the region, and Arabizing. And our global page actually asked us to put Arabic first. So all the posts, as much as we can, has Arabic first and then English, which I think is great, because it really shows that, we're serious about where we're sitting.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's important to follow what the culture here is, and you have a good audience here, especially now the GCC is booming at an all-time high, What would be that one local partnership that has a very special place in your heart for Oakley? There's one campaign you're like, nah, this is my favorite, my baby.
So, I mean, I was a massive fan of Oakley before I started to work for Oakley. And I think when I joined, I already had 150 odd pairs of glasses, and I got the Oakley Towers. Have moved 5 countries with me in the last 5 or 6 years. So, I mean, I can't pick one. Literally every single time I see the new one, I'm like, this is my new favorite. And it's the same with product. And I give the product feedback to the product guys all the time, because I'm a very product person. I love to touch and feel. I love innovation. I love, I'm still a competitive athlete, and I love, new shoes, new bikes, new wheels. I get excited about a zip or a clip or a pocket in the right place,
Can you imagine?
And every time I see the new product, because we work so far in advance with product, like we're already working on 2027 sort of products, that I say every season, like, this season is the best product we've ever had. And I honestly mean that. And I think it's what keeps me going and what keeps me excited, is that Oakley is really driving forward. And so I think every new campaign, I mean, at the moment we have the speed matters, right?
Correct.
And the sort of tagline is, it took us decades to shave seconds. And we've developed the fastest helmet and glasses combo in the world. So if used as a combo, as tested in wind tunnel against everybody else, we're the fastest. And I think in a market where to be the est of something, and I always say to people, try find your est. Like, what are you? The fastest, the longest, the tallest, the smartest? Like, find what that is. And to be able to come out against giants in the industry and say we're the fastest is a huge feather in our cap.
100%. And how do you measure your success in the local market? Like, what are your benchmarking elements that you look at? Are those sales numbers? Are the impact on the communities? Is it your community reach to different communities, or your individuals that you're partnering with?
Depends who you speak to. I mean, if you speak to my boss, he wants sales, right? So I think within our team locally, our first KPI is only good vibes. That's always the first thing we kind of go for. And so there's this beautiful Zen philosophy that says money has 4 legs and man has 2, and you should never chase it because you'll never catch it. And I think we kind of take that to heart when we're doing what we're doing, is because I believe sales will come. if I enter into any relationship and my focus is, yeah, but how do I sell more? Like, I'll do this, what am I going to get? I'll do this, how many more sales am I going to get? I think you're in the wrong mood, you're in the wrong sort of energy. And so I believe if you do the right thing with the right people at the right time, the results will come. So for us, it's about kind of really embracing the philosophy of like, people won't remember what you said, they'll remember how you make them feel. And so this year we launched the Oakley Community app, which is the first sort of Oakley community in the world. And because I really want to touch people, I really want to, have them attend something, and 6 months later when they see me, they're like, bro, when are we doing another one? Like, for me, that's when we're succeeding, when we become an integrated piece into people's lives just naturally, not because we have the coolest product, or not because we have the cheapest product, or not because someone else is wearing it, and because you've touched people in a real and meaningful way. And I think, especially in Dubai or the GCC, people are craving connection. It's a very fast-paced kind of environment. And I think anytime we really get to connect with people and make a difference is then successful.
I really like what you just said. In GCC, we crave connection.
Massive.
And the reason why I feel is we are in a home away from home.
100%.
And when you see communities, you really want to crave connection. You want the acceptance, that's how you make friends who then go on to become families. So that being said, how important would you consider the connection and the feedback that you get from the communities, especially with the products and especially with the campaigns? Like,
I mean, it's super important. And I take pride in the fact that I answer every single WhatsApp, I answer every single email, I answer every single Instagram message. I had one this morning from a guy who's got 31 followers, and he sent me a message. And a lot of brands would ignore that. But as an athlete, being younger myself, I would get hold of brands and ask them for things. And it always really upset me when they wouldn't even bother to say no, thank you. So I take pride on answering every single person as nicely as I can. Some days I'm maybe a little bit more irritated than others, and they might get a "are you joking" kind of reply from me. But at least they get a feedback. Often replying means that they reply, and then I reply, and then they reply, and it ends up taking up half my day. But I think it's important to give people that time and respect. If they've taken time out of their day to send you something, it's just respectful that you reply to it. And it's the same with feedback. I think we take feedback very seriously. And the reason for that is we all see the world through different eyes and from a different background. And I can give you something and we can both use it, and you would have a different experience than me. And if we're only looking at sort of top performing athletes the whole time, we'll never get better. I think we need to take that feedback, across different cultures, different levels of ability, different people. Just this morning, a guy sent me a message on one of our backpacks, and he had an issue with it. And I've never experienced it, no, the team hasn't ever experienced it, but he has a picture and there's a real problem with it, right? So that feedback, we shoot up the chain to the guys to say, look, guys, this is what's happened, and they will look into it and see if it's a serious problem or if it's just a one-off production issue. So
okay, that's quite interesting. I think, like you said, replying every WhatsApp message, this is a result of a WhatsApp message.
Exactly. You never know where it leads to.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much. Thank you so much
pleasure.
for being someone who takes out the time to respond. Like you said, like as a young athlete, you do reach out to brands, and more than a lot of instances, you don't get a response back, and it is frustrating. Can you share a story where you were in touch with an athlete or a campaign that really was like, all right, this is driving us forward? Like an instance where you're like, okay, we're setting the tone in the game.
I think we're about to go into it, right? I think Oakley Meta is completely game changing. I'm under a pretty strict NDA, so we can't say too much more, but there's definitely more coming.
Okay.
The first one that you've seen is okay. For me, I'm not excited about it as much as I'm excited for what's coming, because what's coming, along with who we've partnered with, will change the face of sport.
Wow.
And that's about as much as I can say for now.
All right, let's not get into details. Let's save it for later. Okay. And talking about your own personal journey, you were a fan of Oakley before you joined Oakley. And considering the collection you have, what was the feeling like when you joined Oakley?
And just giving goosebumps, even just thinking about it. It's something really personal for me. I remember telling my mother at a young age, I must have been 13, 14, that there was 5 brands I was going to work for one day. And I think, like any parent, you kind of never want to discourage your kids. Correct. But I'm sure if you ask my mother, she would be like, there's no ways he's going to get that right. And Oakley was the last one I had to do of the 5. And so, joining Oakley at the time I've joined Oakley about 6 years ago. And even just the way it happened was really kind of, it was meant to be. And I believe we kind of all end up being where we're meant to be, doing what we're doing with the people we're doing it with. And it just kind of all fell into place. And it just honestly felt like home for me. It was a brand that I already have known for so long. It was a brand that I'm still super passionate about. And when people ask me how's things going, I say I love my brand. I'm frustrated by the company because we're a small cog in a 25 billion odd euro business, and they focus on eyewear, and we've got so many other categories, goggles and helmets and clothing and shoes, which they don't really understand, and our systems are not really set up for it. So, but it's just the love for the brand that keeps me going, and so I never have a boring day. And I absolutely love the brand. And so joining it and being able to be responsible for kind of how that goes into market. And when I joined 6 years ago, especially in the GCC, the brand wasn't where it is today. It was very much considered a Filipino brand. It was kind of considered a not for me kind of brand. Okay. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done over the 6 years to really bring it into the homes of locals. It was a big win for us. We went after locals, and how do we get them in the brand, and how do we make them understand, how do we make people understand why they pay for Oakley? And it's about the lenses. We make the best lenses in the world, hands down, across any brand of any sort of segment in the world. And you only have one pair of eyes, so protect them, man.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So Oakley is massive globally. Okay. So when you get like a campaign or like a setup, you have a global vision, and then you have a MENA vision. Yeah. How do you adapt it as a channel regional head? What are your first takes? Like, okay, this is how it is globally positioned. Of course, the MENA is a bit of a different market. How do you streamline it into?
I think in the beginning, the global team really didn't understand our region. And so I'm very lucky that after 6 years of telling them the same thing, they're starting to listen. So I think the campaigns that we get now are already kind of GCC friendly, whereas, we had topless guys, we had tattoos, there was just a lot of things. There was a beautiful campaign run at Valentine's Day about 2 years ago with billboards in America saying, "I want to sit on your face," which was incredible, but obviously we couldn't use it here, right? And just recently we had a lens campaign which said we wanted to call them WTF lenses, but legal made us change it to Prism. And we actually put it in the windows of our Dubai Mall and Mall of Emirates. No we got away with it for about 6 weeks before someone complained, and we got a notice to say, you have 24 hours to remove your window. So I think we're lucky that Global have listened. We've diversified the sort of the face of the campaigns. It was all sort of white, blonde, blue-eyed kids, 6 years ago, whereas now we feature different types of people, different looks, different colors and cultures, and then respectfully, they kind of know now what we need, and so when they shoot, we'll always have sort of, this is the main campaign, and if it doesn't work, here's option B kind of thing for us. So then it's just a case of, we have so many campaigns with Oakley. It's more of a case of choosing what to use. We also have reverse seasonality. So, for example, Global will launch cycling in April. Our season's finished. So, they launch snow in December, which is not really so relevant for us. So
all of the Emirates.
Exactly, one store. So it's a case of kind of understanding what people need and understanding sort of what's going on in the region, and then choosing the best that we have for that moment.
Speaking of choosing,
Mm.
156 shades. Pick
About
one.
225.
225? Okay. I need to update
There's
it.
been a few more.
All right. 220. Pick up one that you're going to wear for your rest of the life. One.
Sure. I mean, there's definitely some that I'll own for the rest of my life. I'm not sure about being an 80-year-old still wearing the stuff that I have, but I think, I think you made reference to it before. The very first eye jacket that I bought in 1996, I still own it. I still wear it from time to time. And I think for me, that piece has special value because it was the first time I could own a pair of Oakleys. I had to kind of save up for them in South Africa. They were, still a luxury purchase as they are today. And I remember what I had to do to make the money to kind of buy them. And the fact, it was weird. As like an 18-year-old, finally buying a pair of Oakleys. I think I wore them out the store. I didn't even wait till I got outside. And for me, it was like, I kind of made it in a weird way. It was one of those, same when I bought my first BMW convertible and I drove off the parking lot at, 24 years old or whatever it was. And I was like, I've done it. I'm the man.
I'm the man.
I think it's like kind of ticking those boxes. And so I think that piece and over the tops, I've got 3 or 4. They're just so crazy and so wild. And it was just so disruptive that even by today's standard, it's still crazy. And I think if you can have a product that 16 years later or 17 years later still makes people go, what are you wearing on your head? You did something right. And I still race with them. I raced Burj to Burj in February.
No ways.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And the looks that you get from people on the side of the road and the pictures and the people who shout at you. And, it really helps when you're in a dark space to just kind of see people's reaction to it. And they are super comfortable. They're still probably the most comfortable pair of glasses I own.
Nice. That is quite interesting. Something you said that is still relevant after 16 years. Massive kudos. All right. Let's talk about the future now. Where do you see the opportunities for sports innovation technology in this region? Where are the areas that you're like, all right, this is where we want to go, or this is what we want to target next?
It's definitely AI.
Okay.
I believe in 5 years' time, all glasses will have AI. Apple and Google already going into it massively now. The Chinese guys have jumped on the bandwagon already. There's already Xiaomi and a few other guys making stuff. Ray-Ban already has it. We're have it now. And then, brands within our portfolio will be following suit pretty soon. And I believe in 5 years' time, walking into a shop, there's going to be a whole smart glasses or AI section. Now, I'm not sure if it becomes the only thing that you'll wear, because I think it might get a bit irritating and it's very sort of invasive. But from a sport point of view, and again, I can't be caught on giving you too much information, but the features that are going to come with sport AI glasses will change the world and the way that we interact, the way that we train, the way that we exercise, even racing. We're busy talking to a few bodies of how do we do live broadcasting outside of, within the bunch of different sports, and how do we use that first person point of view for broadcasting. And so I think one of the biggest changes that the eyewear will bring is, again, through connection. Like, you can see what Travis Scott's seeing behind stage before he comes out.
Okay.
You can be in the locker room, you can be in the team bus with the athletes real time. Just, hey, Meta, go live, and you're live on Instagram like that.
Wow. Okay.
And so you and I sitting on our couch can see exactly what they're seeing, hear what they're hearing. And so I think what F1 or the Drive show on Netflix did for Formula One is kind of going to be what these glasses are going to do, and all AR glasses are going to do for accessibility, because everyone wants to go behind the curtain.
Correct.
Everyone wants to go behind scenes. And I think WWF is the wrestling, not the peace guys. The WWF was very good at that, where they had those sort of scraps at the back, and like guys going into the parking lot and, throwing each other against limousines and hitting each other with rubbish bins and stuff. And I think, although it was probably all very much staged, you felt like you were going behind the scenes with things, And I think human beings are curious by nature, and we
That's
always kind of want to see, how did we get there, or what happened afterwards or before. And so I think having access to it so easily, and the best thing about it is because it's on your face, your hands are completely free. So even just mothers, think of a simple application with, I've got a 4.5-year-old and she's a little terrorist, and you've got bags, you've got toys, you've got bunny rabbits and unicorns, and she wants to be picked up, and now you've got a call coming. You don't even need to use your hands. You can just tell your phone, answer it, and you can be having a call, you could be navigating, you could be taking pictures, you could be doing videos while you still also carrying on with life. And so I think once that integrates into your everyday life, you're going to get to a point where you're like, I can't believe we lived without it.
Oh, that's interesting, because you want to be a part of that exclusive space as a fan of artists and as a fan of sports individuals. And you're like, okay, what do they before they start? What's the routine like? I mean,
Exactly.
I'd love to see somebody who's out to play cricket and what are they doing in the dressing room? How are they getting ready? So I think this is a change in how we're going to see sports as a whole.
Imagine watching your favorite bowler run up and bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going to see his approach to the wicket. You're going to see him bowling. You're going to see him, if South Africa's playing against India, you'll see him hit it for a 6.
Get caught on the boundary.
Exactly. So like, imagine the fielder, like you see him in real time catching the ball. Like it is game changing, and it's almost bringing that sort of like PlayStation gamification into the real world, because you could be running around the streets same as you would in like a Prince of Persia or Assassin's Creed or something, and it's now real life. You're seeing your favorite person, athlete, superstar, doing that. Red carpets. Imagine red carpets from the view of Tom Cruise. Like, you can always see him, and now you're seeing what he's seeing. It's game changing.
It is, absolutely. All right. We're going to now jump onto the rapid fire. I'm going to ask Colin quick questions, and this segment is powered by my very own Oakley. Ready? All right. One sport you think will explode in popularity in MENA in the next 5 years?
Cycling.
Okay. What's your favorite Oakley product feature right now?
AI.
Okay. AI in sports. Game changer or just a buzzword?
Game changer.
Okay. And your go-to motivational quote or mantra?
Just do it. Yeah, swish. But it's just, I always say to people, if I ask you why not, if the answer is death, consider it. Okay. If it's not death, do it.
Do it. All right. Most memorable sporting event you've attended?
Olympics in London with my mom in the athletic stadium, which is deemed the greatest night of British Olympic history. Rutherford won the long jump, Jessica Ennis won the decathlon, and Mo Farah won the 10,000. The most insane last lap I've ever seen in real life.
I'm getting chills thinking that. I got chills like, I can envision that.
I was there with my mom, and to share it with my mom, because like working in the industry, you get to go to a lot of cool stuff, right? But like, my mom had never been to something like that, and she was crying and hugging people. Everyone was high-fiving, and to just sort of sit back and see it through someone else's eyes was very, very special.
Oh, wow. Imagine if there was AI.
Yeah, maybe. And it's that, well, sometimes you need to be in the moment as well, right? And sometimes I don't take my phone out. Sometimes I'm not recording something because I want to be in that moment, old school, just feeling it. And then it's gone, and you don't have a memory of it except in your head. And so there's going to be times, and this is what I said to you earlier, is I'm not sure if AI is going to be on your face all the time. I think it'll get to a point in the beginning, everyone will use it. And then I think it'll be a case of you'll use it when you need it. And it'll be nice to just sometimes be old school sunglasses that don't do anything.
All right. A misconception people have about sports tech in MENA?
That it's expensive.
All right. Moving on to segment 3. This segment is powered by our favorite ASICs. So, all right. A habit or routine that's helped you succeed in both sports and business?
Being on time.
Punctuality.
Man, it drives me insane when people are late. And for one simple reason. And I was a bit early today.
No. I was there before you, because I was just like, no, I got to go before him.
Time is the only thing you can't get back. And I think wasting someone's time is the highest form of disrespect.
And
So I will always, and my wife and I, we argue about a few things in life. And one is that she's like, we don't need to be there on time all the time. It's just a barbecue. It's just and I'm like, if it says 7, I'm there at 6:55. Marcus Smith from Inner Fight has a great saying from, and he's like, if the ride's at 7, we're leaving at 6:59 because 7:01 is late or 7 is late. So that, I think, for me, punctuality.
I totally can relate. Like for me, if it's 7, I'll be there 6:55.
100%.
No discussion. And I think punctuality is something Dubai needs.
Man, I always say to people, time is a suggestion in the Middle East. It's kind of like, but for me, I'll wait 15 minutes if you've sent a message. If you haven't sent a message, after 10, I leave. And then I go to Habibi, I'm here. And I'm like, bro, it was 3 o'clock. It's 15:15. Like, I'm done.
God.
Reschedule. Like, because it's my time and my time is important. And I think as yours is, as everyone else's. And I think the problem with time is that if it knocks on. So if you're 10 minutes late for the first thing, by the end of the day, you're an hour late. Yeah. And then that means I'm getting home an hour later, which means I don't get an hour with my family. Like, so I'm sorry, but we all need to be more punctual.
I agree. Advice for young professionals wanting to break into sports innovation. One advice.
It's a good question. I think don't take no for an answer. I think as in sport, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and just keep going until someone says yes. Get your foot in the door, take whatever you can take to get in, because once you're in, it's easier to move up. Getting in is often the hardest part. So
tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly. With anything.
All right. A tech trend that you're excited about in the coming years. Keep AI aside. Something that with the O-frame.
So we're launching something else at the end of the year called Retention Redefined. And we've kind of looked at how our sits on someone's face. Okay. Very much like the OTTs over the tops were kind of, well, why does it have to go on your ears? Why can't it go over your head? And I think with Retention Redefined, we have temples that split up and open and go around the back of your head. And so it opens up the opportunity for field hockey, for cricket, for high jump, long jump, football, sports that generally you couldn't use sunglasses in. And I think that's a story that'll develop a lot more. And I think we want to get to the point where every single sport on earth has the ability to wear sunglasses, and hopefully it's from us.
All right, last question. One piece of fitness equipment you cannot function without.
Bicycles. I've got 15.
15?
Yeah. Bicycles. Circles turning circles. It's one of the most simplistic things that you can do is pedal in a circle and move forward. And bicycles mean so much to so many people. It's form of transport. It's for a lot of vendors in countries that I come from and you come from. It's their livelihood. It's their
100%.
Without that, their families would starve. And so bicycles just have such an integrated sort of part in most societies in the world. And for me, riding my bicycle with good friends is the favorite thing to do in the world.
Nice, amazing.
Especially if I'm in front and I'm faster.
Eat my dust. All right, with this, we come to an end of our very first episode of What the Fahad Season 3. Colin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I hope the listeners and the viewers who are watching on YouTube learn a thing or two from this. And thank you once again. And signing off is your running boy, Fahad. Nice.